Yesterday we looked at Denver then and now and compared the two. Today we're going to look at the people of Denver. Over 2 million people live in the Denver area. Some families have lived in the area for a long time, while others moved to Denver only a short time ago. Some people come to Denver from other states in our country. People from other countries have also made Denver their home. They bring their own culture or way of life with them. The different things they do are called customs. Each culture has its own special holidays and different ways of celebrating. I'm thinking of today being Cinco de Mayo, of course not the day you're watching this, but when I'm recording it. Many of the different people who come to live in the Denver area have shared their customs and cultures. We are going to look at just a few of the different cultures that have helped to make Denver the city it is today. We cannot talk about every culture that has helped to shape Denver. It is important to remember that every person who lives in the Denver area adds something special to the city. So I think sometimes when we live in the mountain areas or remote areas, we don't get to see all the cultures that downtown Denver has to offer. So this is one of the American customs, to have a turkey dinner on Thanksgiving. That's something we all share. American Indians, we call Native Americans. American Indians wintered in the area where Denver now stands. When the settlers came, many of the Indians were forced to move to reservations. These are special places of land set aside for the Indians. There are 2 reservations in southern Colorado. They are the Ute Mountain Ute and the Southern Ute reservations. Today, there are less than 45,000 American Indians living in Colorado. Many live on the reservations, but some choose to live in cities such as Denver. Even though there are not many American Indians living in Denver today, we can still see reminders of Colorado's first people. Arapahoe Street and Ute Avenue are found in Denver. Uncompahgre, Saguache, Ouray, and Kiowa are Indian names found throughout Colorado, like names of towns. Each year in March, a powwow is held in Denver. More than 700 American Indian dancers and musicians come to this event. They come from 70 different tribes and 22 states. Denver has become known as the Native American capital of the United States. The Denver Art Museum has a wonderful collection of Native American things. And this is a picture of Ben Nighthorse Campbell. He's an Indian chief and a Colorado legislator, or was back then. Okay. Hispanic culture. There are more than 500,000 Hispanic people living in Colorado. Some Hispanic families have lived in Colorado for more than 150 years. Most came to Colorado to farm the land, but some early Hispanics were cowboys. They drove cattle into Colorado from Texas. And this is what today is, because today is May 5th when I'm recording. Another custom is Cinco de Mayo, or the 5th of May. On this day, some Mexican soldiers won a big battle against the French. And you can see pictures. These children dance a traditional Mexican dance. This was taken in 1960, a long time ago. And here's some of the early Hispanics who came to Colorado who were cowboys. And there's a farmer who's weeding a sugar beet field. That's 1959. Now, when Cinco de Mayo happened, the French had many more soldiers, but the Mexicans still won, so that's why it's a big celebration. It is fun to look on the Denver map and see how many streets have Spanish names. Some of these are El Dorado, La Plata, La Costa, and Manzanita. The name of our state, Colorado, is also Spanish. It means color red. In 1983, the Denver people elected their first Hispanic mayor. His name is Federico Pena. He was Denver's mayor until 1991. There's a picture of him. African Americans. Jim Beckworth was a mountain man. He was one of the earliest black people to come to Colorado. Aunt Clara Brown was one of the first black women to come to Colorado. She had been a slave in the East. She worked in a bakery in Denver when she first arrived in Colorado. Henry Parker made one of the first gold discoveries in Idaho Springs. I bet many of you have been there. He became a mine owner. He was only one of many African Americans who became successful miners. And so here's Jim Beckworth, the mountain man, he was the black man. And here's Aunt Clara Brown, was one of the first black women to come to Denver. In 1991, Wellington Webb became the first black mayor of Denver. Mayor Webb feels that Denver is a friendly city. He once said that the people of Denver give everyone a chance. Their skin color does not matter. I remember when he was mayor. People came from Ireland also to work in the metal factories and the cattle stockyards. These factories were near the rail yards, so many Irish families lived in that area. Irish railroad workers helped build St. Patrick's Church in North Denver. The church was often the center of their lives. Chinese. Gold in California brought hundreds of Chinese to the United States. When the gold ran out in California, they had to find other jobs. Some Chinese came to Denver to work on the railroad. These workers chose to live near each other because they didn't speak much English. They settled in what became known as Denver's Chinatown. Some people call it Hop Alley. There's some Chinese men working on the railroad. And this is a picture of men walking through Hop Alley. That was about 1929. Boy, do we have a lot of culture. Japanese. The United States went to war with Japan in 1941. There were a lot of Japanese Americans living in California at that time. People were afraid that Japanese Americans would try to help Japan win the war. Many of these Japanese Americans were brought to Colorado. They had to live in special camps. They lost their homes and businesses in California. This was a very hard time. After the war, many of the Japanese Americans decided to stay in Colorado. Many moved to the Denver area. Sakura Square has become a center for Japanese Americans in Denver. And so I just wanted to show you, here's the camps that they lived something like this during World War II. This is decorated for Chinese celebration. That was a long time ago. And this picture was taken in 1916. And this is a group of Japanese American women and children wearing kimonos. So you can tell from the reading that we have a lot of different cultures in Denver. You will be clicking on a website to show you more about the people of Denver and why they're an important part of Denver's history. You will then choose one person to answer some questions about on your Google form. Enjoy!